Hi folks, welcome back to the Bonneville. Now since our last video on tequila, we've had loads of requests to do one on whiskey. Now whiskey is such a big subject, there's so many different types and styles from all over the world, and we'll be going in depth into some of those in our future videos, but today we're just going to show you our top 5 whiskey cocktails. Alright guys, first up we're going to do the most famous whiskey cocktail there is, and the daddy of all cocktails, the old fashioned. Now I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings with how I'm going to make this. As usual, we're going to do it the simplest, easiest and most consistent way there is. So we're going to start off with our stirring glass, get that full of ice. Now, here's where the controversy is going to start. We're going to use sugar syrup, 1:1. 10 mils, you can up that or down that depending on how sweet you like your drink. The reason why we're using that is so there's no little gritty bits of sugar in the bottom of it. Most people would think of using caster sugar, a spoon of, but we're going to just take out the dilution process and just use already diluted sugar. That was 2 dashes of Angostura bitters, and then we're going to go with our bourbon. You can use rye whiskey if you like. 50 mils of that. Actually, do a bit more. Stir it up. Okay, we're serving this over ice, so you don't want to dilute it too much. That's perfect. And that is it. Just strain into that. And we're going to garnish with a big orange zest. And that's your old fashioned. Alright guys, next up we're going to make a modern classic, one of my favourite cocktails. It was recently had its 10th anniversary, invented by a chap called Sam Ross at Milk and Honey in New York. It's a drink called the Penicillin. Now this drink is going to take a little bit of preparation, which obviously we've done in advance. It's going to be a shaken drink. Our first ingredients is going to be ginger juice. Just get a juicer or muddle some ginger, get the juice out and mix it with equal parts sugar, 10 mils of that. Next up we're going to need honey syrup. So if you take regular honey, you want to water it down slightly, 2 parts honey to 1 part water, 10 ml of that. Now we're going to balance that with some lemon juice, freshly squeezed, 20 mils, and then our whiskey. So for this we're going to use a blended scotch, 45 mils. I wouldn't use a single malt, it's just a waste of good whiskey, but you don't want to go too cheap either. We're going to shake that up. This drink's going to be served over ice again, so don't go crazy on the shake. And you'll get your rocks glass full of ice, straight into there. Now to finish this off, we're going to use peated scotch. It's got a really smoky flavour to it. Not everybody likes it, so it doesn't overpower the drink, we're just going to float it on top. Just 5 mils. So it's not going to change the flavour of the drink too much, but when you put your nose into it to drink it, you're going to get a nice hit of peaty scotch. And we're just going to garnish that with some candied ginger, and a nice slice of lemon. And that is Penicillin. Alright guys, next up we're going to make a variation on a whiskey sour. This is called a Morning Glory Fizz. So we're going to start off with our fresh lemon juice. Let's go 25 mils of that. Simple syrup, equal parts. Then our blended scotch, 40 mils. And now the opposite, just going to do 10 mils of that. And then we need an egg white to give that a nice foam. Remember to always crack your egg into a separate container so you don't waste the booze if you happen to break the yolk. And then we dry shake, as always. Put your ice in and give that a really short shake. We're going to serve this one over ice and we're going to be topping it with soda, so you really don't want to over dilute. Strain it into a chilled highball. Add your ice. And top with soda. This doesn't really need a garnish, but if you want, you can do a little lemon wedge. And that's the Morning Glory Fizz. Alright, following on from the Morning Glory Fizz, another great whiskey absinthe combination that we definitely would have included in this video, hadn't we done it already, is the Sazerac. Now we put a link into our absinthe video where you can see how to make that. Now, next up, we're gonna make one of the big dogs, the Manhattan. As always, there's loads of different variations of this. Sweet Manhattan, perfect Manhattan, dry Manhattan. We're gonna go with a sweet Manhattan. Some people like to use rye whiskey, some people like to use bourbon. For the sake of variation, we're gonna make it with rye. So we're gonna go 50 mils of that. Actually, let's do 60. Now, if you used Scotch whiskey, this will be a Rob Roy, but we're gonna go with just a classic Manhattan today. Now, sweet vermouth. You can play with the ratios on this, but we're gonna go half the amount, so 30 mils. Angostura bitters, double dash, and we'll just stir that up. Now the rye whiskey we use is quite strong, it's 48%. Might need a bit extra dilution. That should do it. And we're just gonna serve this one straight up in a chilled cocktail glass. And garnish that with a nice maraschino cherry. Perfect Manhattan. Okay guys, next we're going to make a really tasty drink called a Blood and Sand. This was made in the 1920s to commemorate a film of the same name. Really simple drink to make. We're going to start with freshly squeezed orange juice, 20 mils. And some sweet vermouth, 20 mils. Next up is a cherry liqueur called Cherry Herring, 20 mils of that. And last but not least, our blended scotch, 20 mils of that. So equal parts of all 4 ingredients. We're just going to shake that up. And we're going to strain it into a chilled cocktail glass. We're going to double strain this one just to get any bits of orange out. And we'll garnish that with a nice big orange zest. And that's Blood and Sand. All right guys, those are 5 of our favorite whiskey cocktails. Thank you for watching, and please keep your suggestions for videos coming in. One of our subscribers, Anton, has sent in his own cocktail recipe that I'd like to see us make, which gives us the idea to do a video of all your cocktail suggestions. So if you've got a good one, send it in. We'll make 5 of the best, and you guys can pick a winner. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Those are our 5 of our... Oh, sorry. All right, guys, those are our 5... Oh, me. All right, guys, those are our... The f is wrong with me?